Hello everybody, I'm Dan Murrell here with a look at this year's Emmy nominations. Now, because the prep for this show took me a little bit, this is going to take the place of what would usually be today's live show, but I wanted to break down the best in television, at least according to the Television Academy. Now, this is a very interesting year for the Emmys, because if you go back to last year, the top 5 shows, the shows that won the most Emmys from 2025, The Studio, The Penguin, Adolescence, Severance, and the SNL 50th Anniversary Special, were either one-off events, limited series, or they didn't produce new episodes this year. So there is a big vacuum for a lot of shows to step into this upcoming year when the Emmys are handed out in September. And looking at the nominees, this is a very eclectic group of shows. A lot of shows that maybe don't have wide audiences but have very passionate audiences. Unfortunately, when I look at these nominees, and I also look at the fact that NBC chose Mariska Hargitay to host this year's Emmys, which is an unconventional choice, I think that we might be headed to a low-rated Emmy ceremony, but not one that's necessarily devoid of quality. Now, there are a couple of notes on the shows that were eligible for today's nominations. First of all, the eligibility window closed on May 31st, so any episodes aired after May 31st were not eligible for the Emmys this year. So in the case of a show like Widow's Bay, which is nominated for several Emmys today, only the episodes that aired before the deadline are eligible, which I think is the first 6 episodes of your season. And if you have 6 episodes that air before the eligibility window, then you can be nominated. But the last couple of episodes of Widow's Bay were not eligible to be nominated. And this really impacts shows like The Bear. The Bear got some nominations today, but the nominations that you're seeing for The Bear this year are not for the season that just aired because they aired after the May 31st deadline. You're seeing nominations for The Bear Season 4. The Bear's final season will be eligible for the Emmys next year, which means that by the time next year's ceremony happens in 2027, there will be about a 15-month gap between the final season of The Bear airing and any potential winners accepting their awards on stage. But this has always been the case for The Bear. They're always nominated for awards for the season after the one that came out most recently. It's kind of confusing. Also, it should be noted that one of the big fan favorite series of the last year, Heated Rivalry, didn't get nominated because it was not eligible for any Emmys. That's because Emmy rules state that all shows have to be at least partially bankrolled or produced by an American studio or an American entity. Heated Rivalry is a completely Canadian production, so you won't see any nominations, but that didn't keep Connor Story from getting a nomination for Best Guest Actor in a Comedy Series for Saturday Night Live. So they still got that star, at least, on the red carpet. So without further ado, let's jump into this year's Emmy nominations. And we'll start with Outstanding Drama Series. The nominated shows were The Diplomat, The Gilded Age, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which is kind of a surprise given that this was a new show, and also this was the only major nomination that the series got. Paradise was nominated, as was The Pitt, Pluribus, another new series, Slow Horses, and Your Friends and Neighbors, which moved to the drama category from the limited series category. However, this was also the only major nomination, meaning in the series category or in the acting categories, that Your Friends and Neighbors received. In the Outstanding Comedy Series category, we have Abbott Elementary, which is a perennial nominee. The Bear, which again is nominated for its next to last season, not its final season. Hacks, which set a record for most comedy nominations in a single year. I think it may have actually tied its own record. Margot's Got Money Troubles, which is a new series. Nobody Wants This, Only Murders in the Building, Shrinking, and Widow's Bay, one of the most nominated shows at the awards today, and also a new series. For Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series, we have 4 nominees who have either never won or never been nominated, and one who has won twice. Carrie Coon was nominated for The Gilded Age. This is her 4th Emmy nomination. Chase Infinity was nominated for The Testaments. This is her first ever Emmy nomination. Carrie Russell was nominated for The Diplomat. This is her 8th Emmy nomination. She's never won. Ray Seahorn got her 4th nomination for Pluribus. She famously never won for her work on Better Call Saul. And then we have Zendaya, who is really kind of the veteran in this category for Euphoria. She is seeking her 3rd win in the lead actress category for that show. In the Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series category, Sterling K. Brown is nominated for Paradise. This is his 14th Emmy nomination. Gary Oldman is up for Slow Horses, along with Mark Ruffalo for Task, Rufus Sewell for The Diplomat, and Noah Wyle for The Pitt. He is the only person in this category who has won an Emmy for the show they're currently nominated for. So if he won for The Pitt, he would be the only repeat winner for the series that he's currently starring in. In the Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series category, Quinta Brunson is nominated for Abbott Elementary, alongside Io Adebri for The Bear. This was actually the only cast nomination that The Bear got in either the lead or supporting categories, which is a bit surprising. Elle Fanning was nominated for Margot's Got Money Troubles, alongside Lisa Kudrow for The Comeback, and Jean Smart for Hacks. She is 4 for 4 when nominated for the series. This is, of course, the last season of Hacks, so we'll see if she can make it 5 for 5. In the Outstanding Lead Actor in a Comedy Series category, the big surprise is Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, who was nominated for Wonder Man, the show's, I think, only nomination. He's currently 1 for 1 at the Emmys. He won for his role in Watchmen several years ago, so he's going to go for a perfect record in the comedy category. Steve Carell is nominated for Rooster. This is his 12th Emmy nomination. Shockingly, never has won, was never given the Emmy Award for The Office, so he's looking for his first Emmy. Matthew Rhys was nominated for Widow's Bay, alongside Jason Segel for Shrinking. This is his 6th nomination. He's never won. And Martin Short for Only Murders in the Building. This is his 23rd Emmy nomination. He's won a couple for writing and producing, but he has never won an Emmy for acting. I'm happy to see Martin Short here, but Steve Martin, it seems like, is constantly passed over in favor of Martin Short. And for a show where they're both the leads, I know they're good friends, but that can't feel very good. The nominees for Outstanding Limited or Anthology Series are All Her Fault, The Beast in Me, Beef, DTF St. Louis, and Love Story, John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette. In the Outstanding Lead Actress in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie category, Claire Danes is nominated for The Beast in Me. Sally Field was nominated for Remarkably Bright Creatures. This is her first nomination in 17 years, since 2009. Carey Mulligan was nominated for Beef. This is her first Emmy nomination. Sarah Pidgeon also picked up her first Emmy nomination for Love Story, JFK Jr. and Carolyn Bessette. And Sarah Snook was nominated for All Her Fault. In the Outstanding Lead Actor in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie category, Riz Ahmed was nominated for Bait. Jason Bateman is nominated for Black Rabbit. We'll see his name again on this nomination list. Charlie Hunnam was nominated for Monster, the Ed Gein story. This is his first Emmy nomination. Oscar Isaac was nominated for Beef, and Matthew Rhys, who was also in the Widow's Bay nomination list, is nominated for The Beast in Me. In the Outstanding Variety Series, last year, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert won off of the news of its cancellation, and it's eligible again for the Emmys this year. We'll see if it wins a second Emmy now that it is officially off the air. The other nominees in the Outstanding Variety Series category are The Daily Show, Jimmy Kimmel Live, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, and Saturday Night Live, so the usual suspects there. In the Outstanding Reality Competition Program category, the nominees are Dancing with the Stars, which hasn't been nominated in many years at the Emmys, RuPaul's Drag Race, Survivor, Top Chef, and The Traitors. This is only the second time in the last 23 years that The Amazing Race has not been nominated in this category. And we've got a lot more Emmys talk coming up, but before we do, I want to thank the sponsor for this video, Factor. I'll bet a lot of you had a great July 4th barbecue. I know I sure did, but cooking a big meal like that at home isn't something you want to do every day. Sometimes you just want to take it easy, enjoy the summer, and leave the meal prep to somebody else. That's where Factor comes in, delivering fresh, chef-crafted meals right to your door. Factor's weekly menu features over 100 rotating meals with flavors from around the world that are also built around your goals, whether you're trying to lose weight, eat more protein, support a GLP-1, and more. There's even a Muscle Pro collection to help you recover from working out. Next week's menu includes great options like scampi-style shrimp and salmon. For you seafood lovers out there, count me in. And no matter what the option is, I can tell you I have never had a bad meal brought to me by Factor. And each meal is ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Factor does the prepping, the cooking, and sends it right to your door. I love the convenience of Factor, and I think that you will too. Head to factormeals.com/Murrell50off and use the code Murrell50off to get 50% off and free daily greens per box with a new subscription only while supplies last if you sign up before September 27th. You can see their website for more details. That's factormeals.com/Murrell50off with the code Murrell50off. Let's take a look now at the supporting actor categories. For Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series, Coleman Domingo is nominated in The Four Seasons. Paul W. Downs is nominated for Hacks. Harrison Ford is nominated for Shrinking. Nick Offerman has 2 acting nominations this year. The first one is for Margot's Got Money Troubles. Stephen Root was nominated for Widow's Bay. Michael Urie was also nominated for Shrinking. And Tyler James Williams is nominated for Abbott Elementary. In the Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Drama Series category, Patrick Ball from The Pitt picks up his first Emmy nomination. Billy Crudup is up for The Morning Show. Sean Hattie was nominated this year for The Pitt, as was Garen Howe. This is his first Emmy nomination. Jack Loudon is nominated for Slow Horses alongside Tom Pelphrey for Task, and Carlos Manuel Vesca is nominated for Pluribus. This is his first Emmy nomination. In the Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series category, Dale Dickey is nominated for Widow's Bay. She's been around for a very long time. You definitely know her face. Hannah Einbinder, of course, as usual, is nominated for Hacks, alongside Janelle James for Abbott Elementary. Kate O'Flynn picks up her first Emmy nomination for Widow's Bay, along with Michelle Pfeiffer for Margot's Got Money Trouble. She was not nominated for the Taylor Sheridan series The Madison, but she was nominated for this show. Megan Stalter is up for Hacks, and Jessica Williams was nominated for Shrinking. In the Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Drama Series, we have several first-time nominees from The Pitt. Taylor Dearden is a first-time nominee, alongside Fiona Dourif, another first-time nominee for The Pitt. Allison Janney, an Emmy veteran, is up for The Diplomat. Catherine Lanassa, who won last year, is nominated again for The Pitt, alongside Sepideh Moafi, who is nominated for the first time for The Pitt. So the supporting actress category, particularly with The Pitt, is very competitive. Julianne Nicholson, nominated for Paradise, and Carolina Wydra is nominated for Pluribus. For Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie, Linda Cardellini picked up an Emmy nomination for DTF St. Louis. Dakota Fanning is up for All Her Fault. Laurie Metcalf is up for Monster, the Ed Gein story. Joy Sunday is nominated for DTF St. Louis. Constance Zimmer is up for Love Story, JFK Jr. and Carolyn Bessette. And Yoon Yuh-jung, who's an Oscar winner, is up for Beef in the supporting category. The interesting thing there is that Beef has 4 main roles, and the only person not nominated in those 4 main roles was Kaylee Spaney in this category. Another cast member who plays a different role, Yoon Yuh-jung, was nominated, but Kaylee Spaney, the only one of the 4 main parts for that season, not nominated. That can't feel great, but that's sometimes how nominations work. For Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie, Jason Bateman is nominated again for DTF St. Louis. Richard Gadd is nominated for Half Man. This is the most notable nomination for Half Man. Richard Gadd was not able to replicate the magic he saw with Baby Reindeer a couple years ago. David Harbour is up for DTF St. Louis, as is Richard Jenkins for the same show. Charles Melton, the other main cast member from Beef, is up for an Emmy, as is Nick Offerman. With his second acting nomination, he's nominated for the show Death by Lightning. And finally, for Outstanding Movie, the nominees are Heads of State, Miss You, Love You, People We Meet on Vacation, Remarkably Bright Creatures, and Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan Ghost War, which currently sits at a 41% Rotten Tomatoes score from critics and a 35% audience score, and it is an Emmy-nominated movie. I think that just goes to show you this is maybe not the strongest year when it comes to the TV movie category. Overall, when we look at which shows got the most nominations, The Pitt leads the way with 25. Hacks is right behind with 24. Widow's Bay, in its first season of eligibility, brought in 19 nominations, followed by Pluribus in its first season with 18 nominations. Beef earned 16 nominations, followed by DTF St. Louis with 13, Saturday Night Live with 11, and Spider Noir, all in the technical categories with 11 nominations. As far as networks go, HBO leads the way with 122 nominations, followed by Netflix at 111, Apple at 87, and Amazon at 39. The continued futility of making shows for network television is really shown by the fact that ABC comes in 5th with 38 nominations. CBS got 32 nominations, but the show that earned them the most Emmy nominations, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, was canceled by the network. NBC has 30 nominations. Only one of those is for scripted programming. Hulu came out with 22 nominations. Peacock has 18. Fox, a broadcast network, has 3 total Emmy nominations. And Paramount Plus, if you include Paramount Plus with Showtime, walked away with 2. A couple of interesting things to note as far as who was nominated. In the Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series, we're going to have a competition between the young, hot new name and two sentimental favorites because, as I mentioned, Connor Story is nominated for his guest hosting turn on Saturday Night Live, but Rob Reiner picked up a posthumous acting nomination for The Bear, and Michael J. Fox is also nominated for Shrinking, so we'll see who wins that category. Also, in the short-form comedy, variety, or drama series, which was initially established to recognize YouTube and other internet programming, that's where Honest Trailers was nominated in years past. I was happy to see that there were two actual online YouTube shows that were nominated. Randy Rainbow, which is nominated and has been nominated many, many times, as well as Subway Takes with Kareem Rama. It's just good to see a couple shows there that are recognizing the content that was meant to be recognized in that category. As far as who was not nominated, some might call it snubs, but let's just say not nominated this year. I mentioned a few as we were looking at the nominations already. A couple I didn't mention, Peter Claffey and Dexter Soul Ansel, who played Dunk and Egg in A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Neither one of them got nominated for their performances, even though the show was strong enough to get a Best Drama Series nomination, and I felt like one or the other were strong enough to compete in that category. There were no performance nominations for the final seasons of Stranger Things, Outlander, or The Boys. And for me, The Boys is the one that really stands out, not because that final season was great. I didn't think it was that great. But Anthony Starr, I think, put in one of the great TV performances that we've seen in a very long time as Homelander, not just in this season, but across all seasons of The Boys. They kind of get locked into the shows often that they want to nominate, or sometimes maybe they think that it's not worthy of an acting nomination. But Anthony Starr, I thought, was brilliant in that part. Carl Urban, I think, was great in the show as well, but Anthony Starr for me is the one it's a real shame that there was never any recognition for his work because I thought it was outstanding. Also, Taylor Sheridan, he recently said he doesn't really care about awards. His series are rating hits, but they don't have a whole lot of attraction at the Emmys, and there weren't many for his shows, despite the fact that he's keeping basically an entire streaming service at Paramount Plus afloat. So nothing really for Taylor Sheridan or his shows, but like I said, it was a really interesting year for the Emmy Awards. A lot of times there's an off year where one major show or another isn't making episodes, and so other stuff kind of sneaks in, but this feels like a year where all of them weren't making episodes. Not that the ones that were nominated are obscure. The Pitt is a very popular show on streaming. I would argue it's probably the most popular show nominated this year, but it seems like almost everything else is very kind of niche. They're the shows that like two or three friends at work are telling you, oh, have you seen this? Oh yeah, you should watch this. But now they've kind of been elevated to the forefront. Maybe this is an opportunity for those shows to take the spotlight, to get more people to watch them, more eyeballs on their current and future seasons. I know there's several that were nominated here, like Widow's Bay and Pluribus, that I haven't watched yet, that I may try to sneak in before the Emmy Awards because I hear they're so great. But I do think it might give these Emmys a bit of a limited appeal. But what do you think about the nominations themselves? Are you happy with what was nominated? Are you angry with anything that wasn't nominated? Let me know down in the comments below. And as always, stay tuned right here for the latest in movie and TV news, as well as box office, reviews, all that kind of stuff. If you're not subscribed, be sure to hit that bell. Thanks to Factor for sponsoring this episode. Until next time, stay safe, and I'll see you then. Bye.